Hey, it's Jason with Jams.net. Thanks for tuning in. Another exciting adventure up here at the building today. Lots of stuff is happening, and you're going to see an update about the building shortly because the loft is going to start construction pretty soon. Well, behind the garage, I have an antique old phone switchboard. So you're thinking like mid-1900s, probably 1940, 1930. You would make a phone call through a copper landline that would go above you, and a human being would switch it to connect you to other people. And I just thought this was a really cool piece of history, and it's in really good shape. And fully restored ones that people put in like museums, they pitch a pretty good amount of money. So I thought this would be great to have here at the building. Let's go ahead and bring this bad boy in. That's great. Okay, so let's get this antique switchboard moved out of the Ford Maverick and into the building. So I've learned a lot about phone switchboards. Evidently, they were invented in 1888 by a company in England, and they were used heavily and primarily as a way to complete phone calls, as we know. And they eventually, in the 1960s and 1970s, were phased out. And then this one sat in a warehouse for many, many years. So what we have behind me here in the truck is the old switchboard. So the guy that I got the switchboard from, he worked at a company that had a big warehouse, and he said he had been working there since the 70s, and he retired in the early 2000s. And when he retired, he asked if he could have the old switchboard, and they said, sure, if you can haul it out of here, you can have it. And well, he hauled it out, and then it sat for another 22 years or so in his garage. So this forklift is incredibly handy. It's small enough to use in the building, but the perfect size to pull out things in the truck without having to strain myself too much. Let's go ahead and lower it down, then I can take a peek at it. Okay, so I got it all unloaded. I threw it on a pallet, and then I put it on the dolly so I can move it. But this is the old Bell System antique phone switchboard. It's very interesting how all of this works. I'll show you some of the stuff in the back. But presumably you would just sit here. I don't really know anything about it, but you have a little phone here that plugs in. This is, I guess, how you switch them. I assume these are like the numbers down here, and they light up and you change. Some of these have names on it, like Linda and Warehouse and all this other stuff. Old writing here, maybe something to hold into. You have the old rotary here. It's in pretty darn good shape for its age. I have the back off so I can show you the inside, but there's a lot going on. I think it's really interesting down here at the bottom, these are weights So like you have the, at your kitchen sink, if you have that wand that you can pull out, it goes back in because of the weight. So same type. The wood is nice and solid. This is really heavy, easily over 200 pounds. And it looks like to me this would have been the main line where everything came in. It has since been cut. And then you have all of the gizmos in the back. I don't know a whole lot about this old technology, and I don't intend to do a ton with this other than just store it and try to preserve it, clean it up. This is labeled telephone. Some old stuff in here. See if there's any dates on it. I don't see any dates, but it's kind of interesting to see some tags. This is just diagram information and some letters. I mean, this is just crazy technology. If you think about what we have today with cell phones or IP telephony and IP phones using the internet, to think that not that long ago, I mean, presumably 60s and 70s, some of these were still in use. You actually had somebody sitting and physically switching calls. It's just very interesting and impressive for such mechanical technology of the time. So I need to figure out, like, do I want to hook up some IP phone and just have it like wired there just to kind of be cool? I don't know. This call IBM Direct, New Jersey. So I guess IBM was the technology. Bell System made by Western Electric. Solid wood. It looks like if you didn't want to use the phone, you could like have a paging mic right here. This was sitting down on the table. And then it came with some of these old headsets that are, I couldn't imagine wearing one of these because they're super heavy. But you would basically plug that in here and you could be on the headset. You could plug the mic in or the standard phone. This is the back, which is like the access panel if you're working on it. I think I'm just going to sit it here next to the entrance to the bathroom. Just kind of put it right here. Have that little chair there and see what I end up doing with it ultimately. What do you think of this? Comment below. Do you remember these? Did maybe you work a switchboard? Maybe grandparents? Maybe a mother or father? I'm a little too young for this. I'm in my 40s. These were not really a thing, at least that I can remember. But again, I think this is a cool collection, a cool addition to our collection up here at Jason and Jack's. And I hope you appreciate seeing some of this old technology and ultimately preserving it because, you know, my son doesn't even know what really a landline is. He's all cell phones. He is very amused by this. So thanks for tuning in and checking out the adventure of, frankly, saving this old switchboard. I think it was possibly destined at some point for the dumpster because the gentleman that had it was retired when he picked it up 20-some years ago. So he wasn't exactly going to be keeping this forever. Somebody would have inherited it or he would have gotten rid of it at some point, and it's kind of a pain to move. So I think a lot of these will probably just thrown in the garbage, but that's it. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It means a lot to me. I like to show these cool artifacts and preserve them here in the building at Jason and Jack's and document it on our YouTube channel. Have a great day. Thank you.
You're out of oil.